Hey guys, Ennis here, Whiteacre Properties. Welcome back to another episode, and today I'm bringing you guys to Norwood. So we bought a house that the oil tank leaked and about 60 gallons of oil went into the ground. So I'm gonna go over why we decided to buy this property, how we negotiated it, how we found the deal in the first place, and also the rehab scope of work and what we're keeping and what we're changing. So we got a lot to talk about. Stay with me to the end. In the meantime, click on that bell button, like, share, subscribe. All right, let's jump right into the video. So we purchased this property back in December 2021 for $225,000. And for you guys that are local to Boston, this is in Norwood, and to buy a single family house for $225,000 is just a smoking deal. $150,000 is what we are going to commit to the rehab process, and the after repair value is $600,000. We typically follow the 70% rule. I say typically because there are sometimes exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, when we are coming up with our cash offers, we are running numbers at the 70% rule. But specifically to this project, the 70% rule works like this. We figure out what the after repair value is. I'm a licensed agent, but I have also other agents on the team that go on the MLS and they figure out for me what the value of this property would be after we renovate it. And they typically do that by finding properties that sold in the last 6 months that are similar in square footage, in style to the subject property. And we have a couple of properties like that, and the after repair value for us is $600,000. So the 70% rule is 70% times ARV minus repairs, and that's our maximum allowable offer. So for this particular property, again, it worked out as 70% times $600,000 minus $200,000 in repairs, and it gives us an offer price of $220,000. So it's a numbers game. There's definitely no emotionally involvement in our properties at this point, because we are buying houses based on what the data tells us. And I want to share that with you guys, because when I started out, I really fell in love with some properties. You know, I could envision the finished product, and I wasn't really looking at the numbers. I was just very focused on what the house can look like. But now that we've done a few projects, you know, we have been in business for 8 years doing this, it's all about making a profit at the end of the day. So we want to make sure that whatever we're buying is worth it. And the 70% rule just protects us every single time. So just wanted to share that with you, how we came up with our cash offer. All right, guys, we are in the hallway, main level. I'm gonna go into different rooms and show you guys exactly what we're doing to get an idea of what we're renovating, what we're leaving alone. So let's go into this first one really quick. Hardwood floors, it's staying, it's in great shape. So we're just gonna sand, stain that. We're not gonna spend money removing it and installing new. Drywall, all of that is staying. So that is perfectly fine. We replaced the heating system here. Obviously, we're not keeping an oil tank anymore. We're gonna do a heat pump. And because of that, then we're gonna do duct work, which is great. So we took the old heating out. We're gonna drywall that, plaster and paint. And we did replace all the windows already in this house. So they were old. That's something that typically comes up on the inspection. If the windows were about 10 years old and maybe even 15, we would keep it. But these were like 20 plus years old, and we just couldn't really afford to keep that with the finishes that we're doing. That's about it. Sand the hardwood floors, like I said, paint the walls, and we're out. We're keeping all the doors. The goal is to keep the rehab budget as low as possible. So bedrooms, very little work. And bathroom and kitchen is really where we spend a lot more time. So reglaze the tub, shower, fixtures will be replaced. We need a vanity, and we need new tile. This would be the main entrance. You come right in. We're keeping the hardwood floors. Like I mentioned earlier, we're replacing all the windows, or actually that got done, so it's all windows now. This fridge and stove, they were in our kitchen, and we're probably thinking of keeping them for our rental property, so that's why they're here. Other than that, again, paint the walls. We're going to install recessed lights. Since this is the main living space, we're going to do some nice recessed lights. I think we're going with 4. That's about it. Nothing crazy. All right, guys, so let's talk about how we found the property. This was a direct mail for us. We do a lot of direct mail on a monthly basis. So this gentleman got a piece of letter from us in the mail that says, we want to buy your house, call us, we buy as is. So he reached out, and when we got the call, typically we ask a few questions about how soon they want to close, why are they selling now, and things like that. And he shared the problem that he was having with the oil contamination. We scheduled the appointment. Devin from my team came out to see the seller, and typically when we come out on a seller appointment, we do bring a cash offer with us because we do our due diligence ahead of time, and but we never really just hand that offer to them on the first contact. You know, we usually go look at the property, and then we sit down and talk about the things that the seller cares about. Typically we ask questions like how soon are you looking to move? What is important to you for the sale of the property? Are you open to listing it? Are you looking more of an as-is cash sale? Why are you looking to sell now? Or why did you call us? And why are we here talking about it? Things like that, because we want to understand their position. We want to know what they're going through before we just throw a number at them. So he shared with us basically what had happened to him about oil spilling into the ground from the oil tank in the basement, and just the quotes that he had got from other rehab contractors that were extremely high, I think in the range of $200,000. And because the fire department knew about the oil spill and the DEP knew about the oil spill, he couldn't ignore it. He had to fix it. So it was a problem for him. The heating system that was connected to the oil tank wasn't working at the moment. So he had to address this fairly quickly. So either he had to sell the property on the MLS, he had to get a loan to fix the problem and pay somebody $200,000 like he was quoted to fix it. So that's why his motivation was extremely, extremely high. So I'm going to show you guys the dining and kitchen really quick. Here we open up this space. The wall was extending to right here, and we feel like we want to create as much of an open concept as possible, but at the same time we do not want to remove this wall because it's going to it's just going to create a lot more work for us on the framing side. You know, install an LVL, it was just not going to make sense money wise. So we did open up the space a little bit. And now you could see, if you are in the living room, you can talk to people in the dining room or even in the kitchen. Here, this is the dining room. We took the flooring out because they had vinyl flooring. So what we're going to do is we removed that one and we're going to put new hardwood floors. And the challenge is that we're going to have new hardwood floors that have to match the old one, and that's why we are staining it. It's going to be difficult to match exactly when you get old and new red oak, but once you stain, you can't really tell the difference. So that way we're going to have nice floors. Hardwood floors go from the living to the dining to the kitchen. Here, new windows like every other room. We're going to put another chandelier. We're definitely not keeping this one. Paint the walls. They had wainscoting all around. It didn't match with what we're doing on the design, so we ripped it out. And then we opened up this wall as well. We ripped out the floor here too. It was the same vinyl. We can't really keep these old kitchens as much as we want to save money. And our effort, if you guys notice, is on the kitchen and bathrooms. Typically we got those rooms. So here we took all the cabinets out. We're gonna take this backsplash. I don't know what, I guess this was popular back in the day. It's definitely not popular now, the fake tile backsplash. So we're going to put new cabinets. We're going to put a big island right here in the middle, a couple pendants coming down, stools all around it, new appliances. So this room is going to be awesome. And that way, if you are in the kitchen, you can talk to somebody right in the living room or the dining room. It's like you could see them and you can communicate, which is perfect. That's what we are doing. I just wanted to give you guys some insight of how we think about the rehab. Quick tip, I always share that don't over improve a property the way you want it, right? Because it's not your house. Make sure that you look at the neighborhood and see the condition of the other houses and try to rehab based on that. Not based on your expectations, not based on the HD TV shows, just on what's selling around here, and try to match that quality. Don't over improve, because at the end of the day, you got to make profit. This is a fix and flip project that you got to make money on. So be careful there. I have done that. I've over improved properties in the past, and the sellers didn't really pay me more because I spent on quartz countertops or very expensive appliances. Nobody cares about that. In this market, people want a house that they can make it their own, and I'm keeping that in mind as I renovate. Obviously, this is a unique property because of the oil spill. That is a big problem. And honestly, when we first learned about it, we didn't know how to approach it. I'll be completely honest with you, because we have never really purchased a house that had oil contamination. When the seller told us it would cost $200,000 to renovate or fix the oil spill in the basement, we could have been like, you know what, we're out. We don't want to go through that. But instead, we reached out to a contractor. He runs an environmental company. And we told him about it, and he found out more information about what had happened here. And he said, you know what, guys, I think that I can fix this, and I think I can get you a report at the end of the day that says the property, it's clear, and get you guys a report that says people can live in this house with no problems. And that is the big deal, because when we purchased it, there were two things that are going through our mind. One is, how much is it going to cost to fix this oil spill, right? Is it going to cost $200,000 like the seller got quoted? Or is it going to cost more or less? That was very unknown. Two is the fact that once we make this house beautiful and we put it on the market, we have to disclose that we had an oil spill here. A couple things we did on that end is reach out to some experienced agents, asked around about it, and also went on the MLS and looked at some properties that had this problem in the past, and found out that yes, it's going to be a small price cut, but based on the market condition, we're not going to be significantly less than market value. So we're estimating maybe we're going to be a couple percentages off from market value, so 2, 3, 4% maybe the most, but we're going to have a report that says contamination was resolved, and we're going to have pretty much a clean house that anyone can come in, do their inspection, and be happy with the finished product. Certain deals that seem very difficult, it might be easy to let go and be like, that's not a deal, it's just too much for me to handle right now. But if you are looking to be successful in real estate investing, those are the opportunities that you need to identify and pretty much just figure it out, right? I say that word a lot. We do try to figure out a lot of different things on a daily basis that are new to us, but that is persistence, and that has paid off for us multiple times over. For us right now is that we secured a contractor that's going to help us with the environmental. His quote came in at $56,000, and not the $200,000 that the seller got quoted, which I'm happy with that. And he's going to get us to the finish line, and he's going to give us a report, and then we can share with the buyer. Last thing I want to mention is that we did all this due diligence before closing, because we really wanted to figure out or get a price range or what this work was going to cost us. I'm comfortable with the rehab. That's the easy part. We can renovate the house, the kitchens, the baths, the heating, all that stuff is fine. But the environmental was totally new to me, and I needed to put a price point on that. And finally we did. And the moment we did, then we closed on the property, because we knew it was going to cost us about $60,000 or somewhere in that range to fix the oil spill. So mission accomplished. We got the seller his price. He left with no more headaches, and he sold the property. And we have a property that is extremely desirable. So the next person that comes here is going to have a report. All the work will be done in the basement, so there's really nothing to worry about. And we're going to make a great profit at the end of the day. So we're up on the second floor. It's the attic space, but this is a good space for bedrooms, and previously they had 2 bedrooms up here. We are keeping it the same. The footprint, the floor print is going to be the same, but we did remove all the insulation and the wood paneling because it just didn't work for us. We want to be able to do drywall, paint. We want it to look super nice, and the wood paneling, it's not going to give that look. So we're definitely keeping the hardwood floors because we don't want to spend on that. Hardwood floors are expensive. I believe it costs us about $7 a square feet to install and finish hardwood floors. So if we can save that, why not? But the wood paneling, that's out because it's just not going to work with the rest of the design. So at this point, what we're going to do is insulate again, put drywall, paint, new baseboard, and we're done. So it's not crazy work, but it's going to change the way these rooms look. So guys, I showed you the property here in Norwood. I shared why we ended up purchasing this property with an oil spill problem like this one, and how we made the deal work with the seller. If you guys want to meet me face to face or join the real estate local group, go to Boston Real Estate Connection meetup. We have one coming up on March 22nd, and it's a free event. We get together with like-minded people and just talk real estate. So like, share, subscribe, and catch you guys on the next one.